Okay, so let's start with the intro. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Muriel Zographos, and together with all the NAP team, we are really happy to welcome you, all of you, to the second webinar from our NAP On Air webinar series. With NAP On Air, we will have the opportunity to share information and connect with the air cargo logistics community and innovators in our industry. During our webinars, we will be covering a range of topics, presenting our strategic partners and suppliers, get insights, tips and advice on air cargo logistics modernization, point out the industry's challenges and opportunities, and get ready for the future. Today, we will be hosting NAP strategic partner Hashmove and presenting an innovative digital logistics platform for freight forwarders and consolidators. Hashmove's co-founder and CEO, Mr. Sarfaraz Alam, will be presenting the benefits of digitalization in improving the overall customer experience while eliminating entrenched operational inefficiencies. Hello, Sarfaraz, and welcome to NAP on air webinars.
Hi, Maureen. Thank you very much for having me.
Hello. Sarfaraz comes with an extensive experience in the IT sector and is a well-known name in the field of technology in the Middle East for the last 20 years. Under his leadership, his other technology companies have delivered large-scale IT infrastructure services to various governmental projects, which are considered as iconic projects in Dubai. Also on our panel, NAP CEO and founder, Mr. Christos Spyrou, whom most of you know. Some housekeeping, hello Christos. Some housekeeping about how the webinar will be held. The webinar will last about an hour. There will be the first part with a presentation from Sarfaraz as on the agenda, and on the second part, a Q&A question, where you can submit your questions in the Q&A section at the bottom of your Zoom window. Miss Helena Babic, hello, Helena.
Hello. Hello, everyone.
Our network business development manager, which most of you know also, will be taking notes and ask our panelists to answer one by one the questions or group them if they are similar. And if you come up with more questions, suggestions, or recommendations after the webinar, please feel free to email us. We will be recording this webinar, and we will make a summary with all the important points and questions raised. And also we are broadcasting live on YouTube right now, and LinkedIn and Facebook, I think. So I would like to now welcome Sarfaraz on our stage. Sarfaraz, please.
Thank you, Maureen. Thank you for the lovely introduction. Hi, Christos. Hi, Helena. Well, it's a real pleasure to be in here, and it's a real pleasure to be having an opportunity to speak to all the esteemed members of Intravel Partners, especially in times when the world is actually seeing some very unprecedented situation which have never been seen before. And the idea is that how to actually come out of it collectively and how to actually come out of it by helping each other. So thank you for having me. And thank you for giving the opportunity to address the entire team members or entire member partners of NAP for this presentation. As the agenda of the presentation is all about the digitalization of the logistics for the freight forwarders. I just wanted to basically run a couple of things with you guys before I actually was there. Can you be able to see my screen? Can you be able to see my screen?
Yes,
Hi.
yes, we can.
So before I actually start, allow me to actually just take a couple of minutes to tell you all about Hashmove. Hashmove journey had been now for over 3.5 years, where we group of like-minded individuals actually got together in Silicon Valley in California, and we started to ponder our ideas about some kind of disruptions into the field of logistics. And while we were doing research about those disruption and what might be the true disruption in terms of bringing some kind of like value addition to the industry, such as logistics, we have come across with many players who were at that time trying to become a disruptor in that particular field. But our idea was that, unless we are able to disrupt this industry in its complete totality, there is no point doing the disruption or calling ourselves a disruptor. Um, I'm sure you all are from the fraternity which belongs to logistics, and you've been seeing digitalization in those industries. But what might be actually just noticing by you is that these disruptions are not complete in respect to covering the entire facet of logistics. There are many platforms are coming which are only focusing for the trucking industries. There are some coming talking about the digital BLs and digital documentation systems in logistics. Some of them are like providing the codes and what have you. But when we talk about logistics, as we all know, the word logistics are basically based out of 5 verticals. It starts with moving in trucking, then it goes to sea, air, land movement, then freight forwarders, customs agents, and packaging and warehousing. Uh, Unless you are able to basically provide digitalization in every vertical of that particular industry, you one solution cannot actually just be able to claim to disrupt that. So the motto of Hashmove was to basically disrupt this industry through the power of digitalization, and not only one vertical, but to every facet of verticals, every facet of this logistics industry. So it's been 3.5 years, and we were very fortunate enough to basically have come up with a platform which is now helping to serve a lot of freight forwarders and to the end users now in various parts of the continent. And the idea was to basically have this platform test and trial first before be able to actually open it for everyone. And I'm very pleased to actually say today that today I'm sitting very content and very confident that the platform experiences which we have received, or the feedback which we have received, or the real hands-on working which we have seen about the platform now enable us to actually say very confidently that we are going to be the one platform which provides the end-to-end, opportunity for freight forwarders to actually conduct their business affairs through the help of digitalization. So Hashmove is it is what it is. So today's topic, as we all know, is about digitalization or a digital platform for freight forwarders. Now, before I actually just ask, or before I just tell anything about this particular word called digital platform for freight forwarders, I actually have a couple of questions to actually ask all the listeners of mine. And they're very open and very candid questions. They might be a bit pinchy questions, but nevertheless, you all have to face it, because unless we know what is coming our way, we would not be knowing the complete, pressure of the tide which is on the way. So my first question is, when was the last time you used a travel agent to book your air tickets? Mine surely was over 12 years ago. Or when was the last time you have asked your travel agents to actually book a hotel room for you, either for the business or pleasure? Or simply, can you afford to wait for 2 or 3 days to receive a quote of your purchases on Amazon before you actually receive them, or before you actually order them? So I do not actually need to actually go into the detailing of it. I'm sure you know the answers. And the fact of the matter is that the purchases behavior of the human being are changing completely and drastically. It's all about what happened now, then wait for something to be present, priced, and then later then can be allowed to be ordered. No one has a time, and rather no one has a wish to wait. Um, you see these experience on individual basis in our lives. We don't want to wait. So that leads to a point when a decade ago, when the businesses used to live on the stigma of customer loyalty, that the customer is loyal to the one who gives the best customer services. Yeah, fair enough, it is the case, but not anymore, because now these days customers are not loyal to the companies. Customers are only loyal to the one who keep their rates and services readily available for them to pick. Because if I have been working with somebody who is very good and I trust him, but it takes me actually 5 6 days to receive a quote from them, then the chances are actually I maybe to say goodbye to them in the future. So at Hashmo, we know this is usually seems challenging to anchor the businesses in the oncoming wave of digital disruption, and therefore it is sort of like it was important for us that to actually come up with a platform which can give you digitalization, because it is the only way you can improve your overall customer services while eliminating entrenching operational efficiencies. So I'm here today to basically talk about the complete goodies of this platform, and I'm going to show you the real demo of the platform and how it works. But in a nutshell, the very basic and very interesting benefits of our platform is that it increases your business opportunities and exposure. Um, Going digital can only propel freight businesses towards greater prospects. You cannot just capture new business opportunities, but also enjoying the exposure you get when you become digital. So your services can be accessible to the clients all over the globe in the minutes. And the online tool of Hashmove basically presents and empowers you to run your business efficiently while optimizing returns and vitalizing efficiencies and employment opportunities. Believe me or not, it reduces the cost of sales. We'll actually talk about it in a while. And as you all know, and I'm the firm believer that it increases the operational efficiencies, because running a fair business in silos yields non-conducive results. Really, uh, the very cumbersome manual process and lack of efficient prompt communication leads to an absolute utter chaos. And now these days, nobody needs chaos and nobody needs to sort of like uh, have indulge into the systems which are on manual basis. Post COVID, uh, I can just tell you this, that COVID-19 have actually proven that the customers are only going to be the loyal to the companies who are readily available for them, and they might not actually have to wait to obtain their services for in future. So as we all know that, and I'm sure you all actually have been experiencing this, our industry, which is logistics, which has been going through these challenges. And these challenges are, to be very honest, is still prevailing. I mean, it's 2020 October, going to be entering in November in a couple of days. The lack of digitalization in our industry. Uh, of course, that leads to non-transparency in pricing and delivery models. And of course, once the pricing are not transparent, I mean, your reliability and trust will always be an issue. So it is what it is. We are more or less onto the manual state. But like every industry, this industry is evolving and evolving with a great deal. It's going towards digitalization. Once you become digitalization and you have an appetite to actually help more consumers, you are then going to be finding some markets where you are going to be providing your services. So eventually the marketplaces is going to be coming into this industry. And of course, the automations and AI will actually help it. So as bleak as it sounds and appears, the challenge in industry, but the fact is that these all other high-tech digital services are already kicking into the market. For an instance, the cold chain, the digital warehousing, the automated warehousing in robotics and cobotics, the shipping line, automation of shipping lines and automation of ports, IoT-based trucking. Uh, I'm sure no one who's listening to me would be able to deny that fact that whether we like on it or not, these kind of digitalization have already come in. So whether we are still wish to be remain in this state, or we are jumping out from our skin and trying to actually adapt some kind of platform. So a value addition services of combining with their services can be giving to the customers. We all know the saturation on the pricing into the logistics industry, but what makes freight forwarder unique is these value addition services which they can actually club and combine with their services. So we would actually talk about that as well. So as I've mentioned that the benefits of our platform is to increase business opportunities and exposure. It will reduce your cost, of course, increase efficiencies, as well as provide you some very actionable data, so you can actually really concentrate on the real customer services rather than just running behind the bushes and actually just wait for miracle to happen. Um, uh, we have been fortunate enough to be in a partner with NAP. And last year in Mykonos, we have actually announced a platform which we have together are working. It is going to come in pretty soon. I'll leave others to basically talk about it a little bit more. This platform is going to be coming in pretty soon. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So I'll leave it for Christos to basically tell you all about it a little bit more. Christos, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes, definitely. We can talk a little bit more later, because I think there will be a lot of questions, so we can elaborate a little bit more later.
Okay,
stage.
fantastic. So this will basically be is coming soon, and it's a wonderful opportunity for all the partners which are basically part of the NAP membership.
Absolutely.
So so today, as I've told you that I never wanted to basically bother yourself to actually look into the presentations. I just wanted to basically give you an opportunity to actually look into our digital platform, which we have actually built for the freight forwarders. Hundreds and hundreds of freight forwarders are already using our platform. They are not shying away to become digital. They have already gone past through the apprehensions there, whether their rates could be published or could be seen by others or not, because it is now the time everybody to understand and everybody to believe that it's not about who can see your rates or not. It's about what best rates you can actually provide on the best time and in real time, because it's all about the right time and the right place. So I will basically take the opportunity to tell you that what is the meaning of digital freight forwarder. Meaning is, as far as Hashmove is concerned, or what it basically gives you as a freight forwarder, and how much control it provides you in this day and age to you to be able to always supersede your competitors if they are, and if not, then how remote customer of yours or international or local customers of yours can be able to actually book you and actually just have your services without to bother about sending an emails and sending up the giving our telephone calls and what have you. So let me just take you directly to these platforms, and I have actually just get a complete demo ready for you guys. So we are gonna basically give you a demonstration of a real-time demo which we have actually created for you guys. If I just take a 1 minute on this fact that wherever whoever website you see as a freight forwarder or logistics or air logistics companies, you will actually get this thing called get a quote. This logo, this tab, this icon is available on almost every website which we have actually come across. But this get a quote does not provide any meaningful methods for me to actually obtain a quote from you as a company. These are very passive forms, we actually just call them. I mean, these are very 1990s. But what happened is that, that these getter codes, as soon as you press them, are now going to be becoming a real-time platforms for uh, people like you. So if you see that, that particular button here basically are going to lead you to the platform. And this is basically a digital platform which has been built by Hashmove for the freight forwarders. Now, what is happening in this one that, we have actually given an opportunity for the freight forwarders to have it customized however they feel like it, and we'll talk about it in a minute. But most importantly, it gives a single window view to the consumers to basically book their services instantly. So if you can see, I mean, of course, there are C rates available, and most of you are for air consolidation or air, freight forwarders, and we'll come on to that point as well. But see, if I'm a consumer and I need to basically move something immediately, so I can actually just go and book it straight away rather than be wasting my time to actually different, searching and what have you. But if I could not actually find anything for my liking, and if I need to basically find some rates or something, so we actually have basically method here where basically provides a multi-modal platform for our freight forwarders to actually offer their service. So they can actually get their platform ready for sea cargo or the air cargo or by land if they are using. Because as I've told you in the beginning of my conversation that we have actually built a platform which basically covers every single facets of this logistics industry. So if they are working on an air, they are working on an air. I mean, if they are sort of like going to sea, they sea. So the consumer, whoever they want to be, can be a part of this, digitalization, and they can actually get the courses straight away. I'll actually just touch upon this thing in a minute, but let me just show you a little bit in here. Most of the freight forwarders basically also works onto the warehousing side of the business, and warehousing is a very, very huge element of the logistics industry as well. So at the moment, what is happening is that all these warehouses, you can get you can receive your requirement from the consumer, you work on it, and then you should give them a code back. At least 2 to 3 days it takes. But our platform allows you to now start to publish the warehousing for your consumers straight away there. So a customer, just like, like he's actually booking a hotel room for him, or he's basically booking, any hotel services for him, are now being able to basically book it straight away. So if I'm a person and I do not have any experience about UK, the way the UK is and how UK even look like and where this warehouse might be in UK. So our platform basically gives them a one window overview of the mapping, to tell them, which part of the world or which part of the UK basically this, warehouse basically belongs to. So this is one huge opportunity what we actually have created for our freight forwarders to not only basically receive these the request and rates requirement from the consumers and allow them to actually book instantly, but to basically push them the rates for the freight forwarding as well. And of course, their services and the industries and everything and their affiliations and their locations and their social media. So every single thing, guys, you actually seeing in here are customizable. There's not a single bit in here which you can't customize it. So if you do not like this option to actually be remained open, you turn it off. And if you want it to actually be open, you will actually just do that. So what will happen is that, suppose if I want to basically book an air shipment and I'm trying to book my goods from Singapore. At the moment, I have to actually go and come to you and actually ask you and send you an email, and then you actually prepare the quotation for me, Here, what is basically that I want basically some of the goods to basically come in sometimes in November. I want to get the quote, here I am. I put 1,000 kgs to be basically bringing from Singapore to in here. And as soon as I've done it, so what will happen is that the quotation will basically be populated straight away in front of me. And I am here as a consumer. I have not really bothered about, the time which I need to actually usually waste to actually get these quotations. If I have any particular choices for the airlines, which may I only want to use it, I can actually just do it here. So every single choice is what a consumer would want to actually have in order to basically get the quotations. They'll be able to do it. I can actually compare the quotations in respect to the airlines. I can actually just do this thing in respect to the entities and all that. And for me as a consumer, I actually just got what I really wanted. And thanks to the help of this platform, the unique forwarding basically are allowed to basically these quotes. And of course, this pricing are available into the multi currencies, so consumers can be able to pick their rates accordingly, and they can be able to see that. Now, the point is, the first part, when the consumer had to wait for hours or days in order to basically get these quotations from the freight forwarders, now freight forwarders are enabling them to basically get these quotations from them straight away. And as soon as you actually proceeded, the real things start. I mean, per kg rates are available. I do not have to worry about what service I'm getting, whether it's unknown or known to me. We are bringing the insurance companies to basically start actually giving the insurance to our freight forwarders as a value addition service to them. So as soon as the consumer will be able to type some value of the goods, that quotation will be actually coming here. We actually disabled that feature for the time being for the freight forwarders. And the freight forwarders can basically give their services for the customs. If they are doing their own custom services to those consumers, they can be able to do it, and vice versa. Similarly, if I could just go and show you the platform and how it works into the ocean or into the sea side of it. I mean, we have actually got everything covered as far as the actually ocean is concerned. So the consumer can bring their goods either on CL basis or LCL basis. Every single items which they want to be seeing in here is already here. If you can see that, the nomenclature of the container would change as soon as exchange the different, commodities. So all in all, basically, the consumer do not need to actually wait for picking up the right containers for them. So here it is. I'm going to give you one very, very good example here. Most of the time, as you know that, C2C rates are available. But if today, if I just say that, I want to actually bring something from Shanghai, from somewhere in Shanghai in Disney Parkland, I want to actually bring to some door in Liverpool, what basically is going to give it to us as a company that, from Shanghai Disneyland Park to Liverpool, and I want to basically get the standard 20-foot containers, right? Let's see how it works, whether it works or not. So see, what is happening is that, me being sitting in here, I have basically that my freight forwarders are basically ready to bring my goods from Shanghai to the Liverpool, and actually it just brought to me as one piece of pricing. So me as a consumer do not actually worry about it. And most of the time, as we know that this freight businesses basically work on various discount factors and various different mechanisms. I mean, we have actually embedded all those in here. So what I'm showing you here, that from the door-to-door facility, a freight forwarder will be started to give to the consumer. And this way, the consumer who basically are usually unable to basically get the basic codes are be able to receive those codes from their freight forwarders, and the chances are they basically book through those consumers straight away here. So if I can just pick up a port of say Shanghai again, and if this time if I basically wants to bring the code to the Liverpool, right, and see how it works, then what will happen is that that I'm going to be actually seeing. I'm basically going to be seeing if the rates are available. I'm going to be seeing those rates. But the reason I actually just picked it here, that if the rates are not available by the freight forwarders for any reasons, that we have made this rate request availability, so the consumers can request the rate availability by those freight forwarders, and the freight forwarders can actually push those rates for those consumers straight away there. And this way, they do not need to actually just go back and forth, and once the rates are ready, the consumer will be knowing, and you will be able to see that rates straight away. So guys, what we have done is basically that we provided the platform for freight forwarders. So the freight forwarders now are enabled to basically provide their services to those consumers for sea, air, and truck. And similarly, they are able to basically provide those services to those people for the warehousing as well, which is basically one of the very integral element of the platform. So this basically makes the freight forwarders page completely digital. If you notice that whether you have your own website or not, what will happen is basically that you can still be able to use this website, this one page as your website, and in this way you can actually just let people to actually have a complete look and feel the way actually you want it. So I just wanted to show you one link here that the companies, very huge companies in the Middle Eastern region, who basically they used to have this get a code kind of like tab in the platform, but now when you should just see that book online. So when the book online, you'll see that they are using Hashmove platform for their own digitalization, and you can be able to actually get these quotations from them in straight away. So this is basically the transformation which we actually creating in life of the freight forwarders. That freight forwarders not only can be relying on to the passive rates and passive forms, but then actually make them a real hot, platforms for the consumers to actually get their services from. Now, as I've shown you, that you actually have a complete empowerment. Now, the empowerment basically are comprises of many items, and few of them are, do you or would you be in control to publish your rates to the right audience? Would you be able to control your targeted rates to the target customers? Or would you be able to in control of not displaying your rates to anyone? Or would you be in a control to let the consumer sign up with you first before you actually open the rate for them? So answer to these questions and many hundreds and hundreds of questions which we have so far received from various freight forwarders, we have actually catered each and every requirement of those freight forwarders on our platform. So this is basically the backend side of those platform which freight forwarders uses. So it basically gives you, so this is basically unique forwarding, is basically gives you the complete visibility of your every booking which are basically coming onto you through the platform. You are in control of basically the complete shipment. You are basically in control of the complete nitty-gritty of the systems. You basically have a complete control of keeping the systems updated. If you want to actually confirm their booking once the system is received, it's very simple click of a button process. You can actually go and actually just confirm the booking, and your consumer will be notified. Straight away. If the schedule is not there, you have to put the scheduling physically and manually in front of them, and similarly the shipment and all that. And one very important thing what we have done for you guys is basically we embedded our platform with a complete e-documentation system. So you do not have to chase up your customers. You can just ask for any document which you may require in order to fulfill the shipment. All you need to do is basically just add those documents in here, and as soon as you'll do it, your consumer will be notified, and you will be able to see these informations in here. The consignee informations, the agents informations, everything which you require as a freight forwarder or logistics companies to actually fulfill the requirement or fulfill the services of your customers is already in there. And here I would want to basically take up your moment before I go into the reporting and what have you, that the managed rates. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the managed rates is one of those elements which had been always a matter for concern for many freight forwarders. Earlier, the freight forwarders, 3 years ago, the freight forwarders never wanted to basically give the rates to anyone. And we used to actually ask them why. And the real, very basic and simple apprehension was that they don't want to see other people to actually see those rates. Now, fair enough. I mean, if this is how they want to see it. So what we have actually created in our platform, that we have actually created a platform that if their rates are going to be for general public of theirs, anybody who comes and see, it will be called a general customers marketplace, and anybody and everybody would be able to see that. But on the same time, if they do want to basically have a rate for any specific customers, then what will happen is that, those customers list will be coming in here, and every rates which they are going to be actually pushed for those customers are only going to be seen by that customers as well. So here I want to basically show you that, I want to create a, specific rate for a consumer, right? My destination is Liverpool, and the ship is basically going to, for example, Houston. I want to basically provide the rates for goods, and I'll provide for standard 20 feet. And I want to prepare for a FFC customer. There's a customer in FFC, and I want to basically provide them a rate in, in USD. So what is going to happen here is, suppose if I have rate cost is basically $2,000, I can set up my validity. Maybe I want to keep these rates only for 29 days, or maybe I'll keep it for year or whatever. I actually then create basically whatever the other requirement I actually have from them to be charging as a charges. And then I can actually add as many number of the labels as you could want it. Now, the one very beautiful thing which you want to actually show in here, that suppose if you do not find any right title of your documents or the services which you want to actually charge, you have been given an ability where you can actually charge, for example, this coronavirus tax. And you want to actually apply that tax for basically per shipment basis. So now you can be able to basically add this as a list, and you can be able to actually give that prices to your consumers for the consumers to basically see. So as soon as I actually just submit the rate, guys, see what is happening. This rate basically populated here as far as we are concerned on your unpublished rates. And once we actually suppose your subordinates have actually inserted data, and they do not have an ability or authority to basically publish it until you as a manager can actually come and actually approve it. But once you actually do come and actually see that the rates are perfect, right, all you need to do is just publish the rates. And as soon as you publish your rates, see these published rates will be appeared onto the segment where your published rate will be published in between 5 to 60 minutes. So you see all these rates are basically published, but this rate is gonna take time, at least, because going to your global server, and everywhere there are some Hashmove servers are, is going to be sort of like replicate those rates here. And after a couple of refreshing, you see these rates will be published, and those rates will then only be available for your consumer, who you would want to see the target rates. So what we wanted to show you that that the platform which we have built we have built in a way that we not only have actually encompasses each and every requirement of the industry, but more importantly, what we have done was that we have actually given you an power to actually tailor and model your platform the way you want it, and of course the terms and conditions. So without taking your much of a time, you can see that you can manage your rates for sea, for air, for your ground transportations, for your warehousing. And of course, when you talk about sea, so you can actually have those rates for your sea, for your FCL and LCL. And when you talk about the warehousing, I mean, you can actually have your warehouses to, maybe you actually are working in 15 continents, you can actually publish your rates for different 15 continents from here. So, ladies and gentlemen, last bit of a thing before I actually just go to the presentation and actually show it to you. As I've told you, that whole platform of yours are basically fully customizable, because I particularly love to my platform to be look and feel the way I want it. So everything is being customizable here, so that coloring, if you want to actually pick a coloring according to your theme, you can do it by yourself. You do not have to have a single IT company or IT persons to be doing this for you. All you need to do is basically just to actually fill those information in, fill those services in, fill your locations in, and the whole page which you're seeing in here will start to get populated for you, and you are basically in great command and control of yours. So Hashmove digital platform for freight forwarders, ladies and gentlemen. This is one of the uniquest and one of the most powerful platform which has ever been built, or we have actually been experienced by doing research on competitors and what have you. This is according to my limited knowledge anyway, but I would love to see a complete comprehensiveness as far as my platform is concerned, that this platform can empower our freight forwarders, and many of the freight forwarders who are on a platform, we started to actually use it. This will give them an ability that this will give them ability to become digital instantly, and once they become digital, then they can be a part of any marketplace which may comes in the future, so do not have to do the work twice or thrice or whatever. And in this way they can be able to fulfill their services to different consumers, different companies. So I have taken a liberty to basically presented this thing to you in a shortest possible time. I'm very mindful about your time in any way, but as I've told you that this platform has been built with the philosophy that a freight forwarder who may not actually have an experience of IT can be doing his platform without a need of any Hashmove customer support service people or anyone, and they can be able to sort of do it straight away. As a Hashmove, we are growing very fast at the moment. Many world publication have started to cater us. We have also got huge customer list who are basically suppliers of those logistics on our platform. And what we do basically, once anybody who becomes the freight forwarders of freight forwarders or digital freight forwarders of Hashmove, we then actually evaluate them and we can make them a part of our enterprise logistics marketplace, where many organizations who do import and exports to be able to use the services from different freight forwarders. So I believe that's it from my side as a platform. This was sorry I took so much time.
It was super interesting, Sarfaraz.
Thank you.
If we have questions, Yelena,
yes,
please.
I think I will start a bit. Thank you so much, Sarfaraz, for the presentation. So I will be the tough one, making the questions I feel that some of the members may have. So you explained a bit about the platform and wearing the hats of an air freight forwarder or a consolidator like some of our members. There's so many platforms out there. What is it that makes Hashmove different? I mean, if you go around, we see rate management systems, different portals, marketplaces, and I have to admit, a lot of players in our industry, they're so confused and they're all waiting. They're showing you things coming up all the time. So before they make a decision, they're waiting to see. So my question, in a very few words, because I know we don't have enough time, what is it that makes that portal, your portal, different than the others?
So, as I've told you, the logistics are comprised of 5 verticals. So irrespective of what side of vertical of logistics you deal with as a freight forwarder, this platform will basically serve your purpose. And you do not have to get 4 or 5 different platforms to actually serve your purpose. So there's one platform, which is a multi-model platform, which provides you the flexibility and the interoperability of your different services in one go to your consumer.
Okay.
So if it is making sense, many platforms which only serves you for trucking and ground logistics, some of them are coming up for only ocean, some of them are into air, but not one which caters for the ground, air, ocean, warehousing, insurance, and different value addition services.
Okay, very clear. Thank you.
I have one quick question as well. Could you please explain what is the advantage of NAP members to be on the Hashmove digital platform?
So there are many I can tell, but mindful of the time, I can give you 2 or 3 very important benefits. Number one, it is a free platform for all the NAP members. They don't have to pay a single penny for that. All we want them is to basically use that platform and become digital instantly, and get this book online instantly, instant tap to the platform. It will give them an exposure. The second advantage of them is that, as I've told you in the beginning, that, we are coming up with a very huge platform with NAP in future. which we have actually postponed because of COVID. And unless a NAP member is a digital freight forwarder already on that platform, would not be able to participate in it. And my God, the benefit of that, which is going to be passed on to those freight forwarders once that consolidation platform is coming in, it will be so huge and humongous that none of the members would want to miss out from that.
Okay, and one more, just add on Yelena. Okay, we can understand it's free for the NAP members, but is it a special cost for a white labeling solution? Yeah. And to make it simple, I want to have my website as it is. I want my client gets in. I want my color. I want everything. I want to tailor make it just like on my website.
There's no cost to it, Christos. It's totally free, the total white labeled. Trust me.
Okay.
Yeah. The only cost which would involve that if they have any platform, if they want that any kind of integrations to be done with their existing platform or existing services, then the cost will actually kick in. But for white label, for their own services and for the hosting, there's no cost involvement for the NAP members. It's all free of cost.
Clear? Thank you.
Now we got some questions from by emails that NAP members have sent by email to help interaction discussion. So how NAP members can assure that their prices are not visible to open market, and who is responsible for the rates uploaded in the system? And can you tell us how does it work?
Good. So again, three answers. Number one, they can actually make their rates available for everyone and everyone. Second, they can actually disclose, they cannot disclose their rates to anyone and everyone. And third, they can actually have it mix and match. So they can have some rates available for open market, some they have the rates available for only exclusive customer of that. This platform gives them an absolute minute empowerment to actually manage their rates the way they actually want it and the region they want to control it. And your another question was what was the question? Sorry, I forgot.
Who's responsible for the rates upload in the system, and how does it work?
So there are two methods again. The first method is if they have a rates which they receive either Excel sheets or something from different providers of them, they can actually insert those rates physically by typing each and every rates, or they can actually use an Excel sheet template of ours. There are millions and millions of records can be inserted by them and upload in 1 second, and all the platform them can upload it without even asking a question. So it is the most simplest, easiest method we have created for them to actually use their rates by uploading that Excel sheet to the platform. It's very simple.
Okay, Sarfaraz, may I add, do you offer a service or a kind of like a control tower? Because, I go now to the daily life of a freight forwarder, especially air freight forwarder, especially in our days, right? Sometimes you have no time to do these things. Is there any way I can just forward my rates? Then
we are open 24/7, 365 days. We are open 24/7, 365 days, Christos, for every partner.
Another question. Do I send you my selling rates, let's say, or I send you my buying rates and then I manage my markup if I want or not? How would that work?
It's all the way you want it. You tell us to actually upload your rates as what you want it, or you want it to be specific to the customers or specific with your markups. We cater every requirement of yours.
And then I can still go into the system and edit accordingly per client or per agent or per general rate and so on.
Absolutely. So if you have a master sheet where you have millions rates, right? And you want an extract out of those million, maybe a couple of hundreds to go to a specific customer in a specific region, or maybe some customers in your region, if they actually exceeded the threshold, these all things can be managed through that Excel sheet straight away for you. Or by both those freight forwarders. So the idea, as I can emphasize it again, that the freight forwarder do not need to be computer literate to manage this platform. As long as the basic literacy of computer is there, they can be able to do that straight away.
Yes, I would like to ask one more thing. Last year at the NAP conference in Mykonos, we presented the NAC B2B digital consolidation platform powered by HashMove, which is coming soon. What are the objectives of this initiative, and what are the benefits for the NAP neutral air cargo service providers and the logistics community?
Yelena, let me take that, and then maybe Sarfaraz can add. So we've been working, the truth is we've been working on that 3 years, I think. So the idea behind as Mutual a partner, as you all know, we do have our specialty group, NAC Consolidators, which we've gathered a team of mutual air freight wholesalers, master loaders, and consolidators around the world. So those companies, they operate as a broker and they're offering services to other transport-related companies and retail freight forwarders worldwide. So coming from that sub-industry, I would say from air freight wholesale, the idea behind sitting with Hashmove and the team was to create a platform where the specialized NAP members on specific airlines or trade lanes that they operate as a neutral master loader consolidator, they upload the rates into the system. And at the same time, we're making all NAP partners vendors in a kind of a marketplace that we can sell to the rest of the world. Of course, we had the COVID came in, and it's very difficult to start. I mean, the airlines canceled the flights and the schedules, and it's very difficult to get rates, and it will take a while. But I guess we need another webinar only for the NAC consolidation platform, the B2B consolidation platform. I guess we're out of time, but we'll definitely do that.
My God, what a platform it will be. It is the most comprehensive consolidation platform which world have ever seen.
Let's see.
And I'm sure the members will be very happy.
We want to see it live.
if you allow me, I'm reading some very interesting questions, and I think it's very important if I could just take 1 minute to basically answer those, if you can just see, because I've received.
Shall I read for you and you answer?
Yes, that will be better.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Okay, so question from Jay Costa, security and cyber theft.
Correct. So the entire Hashmove platform has been hosted on Microsoft Azure, which give us the reliability and security for 99.9999% uptime. The complete platform has been hosted on Azure, so it's replicated around the globe. So as secure as Microsoft Azure is, our platform is secure as well.
How does, from Harun Tarar, how does Hashmove help in bringing two companies closer internationally? A company may have a very strong background services in one country, but gets a contract for an international shipment. How does Hashmove help in that?
So the whole beauty of Hashmove platform is that every single member of the Hashmove platform are completely verified and checked by us before they are actually on Hashmove platform. They have to prove their track records, they have to prove their credentials and jewelry. And the whole idea for us is basically let these two companies to actually talk to each other and become a part of these ecosystems. So if you see a Hashmove partner networks in UK and you are the partner network, you are the Hashmove member in India or Bangladesh, you can, or Pakistan for an argument's sake, you can be easily able to actually start communicating with those partner networks across the ocean, across the border, and you can actually create your own trusted network in terms of pricing and what have you. So we are opening up the pricing of our partners for the different partners. So the partners from UK can publish their rates for the partners in Pakistan, and the Pakistani partners can actually then publish their rates for their customers, keeping in mind that they have got now muscles to move their logistics from that country to England without a need of actually any other partners in between. Does it make sense? So it's a network of a partner as far as Hashmove platform is concerned.
Okay, Sarfaraz, I have one more question. I see also some questions from the members coming in, but I also had it in my mind to ask you. So what you presented looks ideal in a pre-COVID environment. Now, if you look at now, everything is on a spot basis, everything on ad hoc. Not only is the rate ad hoc, you don't even know the schedule. I mean, the airline flies today, every week, every Friday, we don't know if you're going to fly the next week. So how do you deal with that? I mean, as far as a digital platform concerns, I mean, how will you help me now in those days? Can you help me, or should I wait for the post-COVID and then I can make my planning to become digital?
No, it's always been 7 months in COVID, and we had to change our platform accordingly. Trust me, otherwise we would have all been, had a very tough time. So what we have done, for a small answer to that, we have catered that requirement already in our platform. First of all, the customer of our freight forwarders can do a spot rating with them straight away then and there. So they do not need to actually publish their rates for them if they do not have it. But once they receive the query, they can then publish the rates for them. So we call it a spot rate mechanism.
Instant spot rate request. It's an
it's an instant spot rate request and instant spot rate publishing also. So this is a dual way method. So the customer of the freight forwarders can actually do this request with them. The first question. And the second question about is scheduling. So we actually have a scheduling. For example, Hashmove, we've been now have signed up with the CMA CGM Group Global. And now the entire scheduling of the CMA is being provided to us directly with the CMA, platform. Okay. But if a platform, if any scheduling which is not available, our actually platform empowers a freight forwarder to insert their scheduling, whatever they have it for their customers. So they do not need to rely upon this scheduling, which basically comes from our side or the industry side. You know what I mean? Okay. So if they have their own schedule, they can publish it. So this is one of the biggest feature which we have. It is a spot rate and spot scheduling, which we had to cater because of the COVID situation. And as soon as the COVID will actually be lifted, and the normality will actually come into the life, of course, all the scheduling will be coming directly from us, and all the rates will be basically published by those freight forwarder customers straight away.
Okay, I think we have more questions, right, Yelena, coming in.
Another question, yes. Is the cargo insurance add-on automated, and in which countries is that available, and who is the insurance company behind?
Yeah, so we are a marketplace, as you know, for the platforms. Our platform works on a market-based basis. So any insurance companies who are available in different regions, we are now basically bringing on our platform to give an instant rate. The idea is instant. You don't have to go to insurance companies. So far in the Middle East, we have actually got a Takaful. They are actually, you will see these things in newspaper very soon, or the international media. They are going to be providing their insurance to our partners straight away digitally on a real time, just like we buy a medical insurance or a traveling insurance. Now the trade and logistics insurance for the marines and the fires and theft can be given on our platform straight away. And at the moment, the Middle Eastern part has been covered. We are now in very advanced discussions with European insurance companies, as well as the European bound trade financing companies, and their platform will be integrated with us to actually give our freight forwarders a real-time visibility of that pricing, and they can uplift those prices and value add those prices by making a reasonably good revenue for them in future. Okay.
Great, thank you. Now that we are talking about integrating systems, is Hashmove capable of integrating with global ERPs like CargoWise? Could you please give some insight about data confidentiality?
The fundamental of Hashmove is all about collaboration. We open our API for everyone, and we integrate with anybody's API. Anyone who would want to integrate us with any platform, as long as that platform allows them to actually integrate it, we are ready. And our platform is always ready for that. So we are basically working on the fundamental of collaboration, and our platform works on a collaborative method, whether it's CargoWise or whether it's Intra or whether it's any other third parties platform. We are there for make a life easier for a freight forwarders. We do not want them to basically feel that just because they have something, they cannot actually be working with us, or just because they have us, they cannot work with anybody else. So it's a whole ecosystem we have created around collaboration and a partnership.
From Rob, next question. How about multi-port quotations? Is this possible?
How about what? Sorry, beg your pardon.
Multi-port quotations. Is this possible?
It is indeed. It is indeed. So,
yes.
So the consumer basically can be able to ask and compare the quotations and rates from those partners straight away, and they will be able to see as a download of the PDF formats of those comparables of those quotations from there. It's a part of our platform itself.
I can see also some other, please go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. Now from Jennifer, it's a long one. Does Hashmove work globally? Also works with outbound cargos for Latin America. Is the setting of the information updated automatically, or must be done manually? How long it takes to set up this information as the first time? Can this system also provide online tracking? And is this platform connected to Intra or some other alliance platforms for online status?
Fortunately, the answers to everything is yes.
And many questions, but easy answer.
And one interesting part she has written, and I would like to actually take
Yes.
only 1 second to it. How long will it take to set up the whole thing? Trust me, as long as you know how to type the numbers on your platform, on your computer, it will take you not more than 15 minutes to build your platform and keep yourself up and running. Only 15 minutes.
Great.
I'll use my watch.
I think we read all.
Okay, that's exactly 1 hour and 5 minutes.
Nice. Just last question. Is the program in different languages or just English?
Okay, so the platform is available into English, but we are now working to bring it into at least 9 different languages now. And I can tell you those languages.
Please do.
Thank you. So Hashmove hopefully will be available by next year, same time. Will be available in Chinese, Spanish, German, Arabic, Japanese, French, and Italian.
Great. Great, thank you.
So we cover. And one important question you have asked, does the Hashmove provide the tracking facility for cargo? This is the question you asked. So Hashmove basically work with the international, partners who basically provide the real-time tracking. Hashmove do not have any of the tracking by their own, but they actually work on it. And I'll be very pleased to tell you that if you are as a freight forwarders, we can actually give you the facility to upsell the tracking to your consumer, where your consumer will be able to see the real spot of the cargo within ocean with the differential of 16 minutes on any ocean in the world. So you can actually give this kind of facility to your consumer as well, and you can upsell your actually pricing accordingly. And this will be a very good upsell for you if you can actually you have sensitive cargo to bring the customer. And Hashmove platform is already embedded with those IoT clouds. All we need to do is basically just to enable you on that, and you can be able to do it straight away for your consumer.
Perfect. Thank
I
you.
see also one more question I can see from yes. So if you look at the air freight forwarders, they will have partners around the world where they get the import rates. I mean, fortunately or unfortunately, the air freight procurement is always managed by the origin. So you need partners all around to get proper rates when it comes to import. So a lot of the air freight forwarders, the consolidators, that have multiple partners in some areas where they compare the rates. So the question is, the system can filter the rates by different partners from one origin at the same time, or it has to go one by one?
So the platform which we are giving to our freight forwarders is only their freight forwarders platform. Now the comparison can only happen when those freight forwarders are a part of a marketplace, where a normal consumer can actually be able to compare among those freight forwarders who are a part of the to that marketplace. Does it make sense?
Yeah, I understand that. No, my question was like, if I have like 5 partners in the United States, I can see in one screen different rates for the same destination from those 5 partners as well.
Absolutely. In a real time and real seconds. Yes, absolutely. And this is basically the one of the strongest feature of the platform, that you will actually have a real-time integration of the data, and you can see the real time of the comparison of those platforms for your platform straight away there.
So I can see that my partner A on Emirates has $3 and my partner B on Emirates has $2.80. And at the same time, the difference is based on airline or based on destination.
That is correct, sir. Yeah.
Perfect. So thank you, Sarfaraz, very much for a very interesting presentation on the digitalization, I said it, of the cargo industry. And Christos and Yelena and Boris, and thank you to everyone who was there making time to watch. And we hope all your questions have been answered. If you have more questions, please email us or suggestions. And know that we have been recording this webinar, so you can watch it again. We will make a summary and have all the important points and questions raised. Also, a short note, save the date for our next NAP On Air webinar, our third one, next Wednesday on the 4th of November, 2 p.m. Central European Time, dedicated to the future of settlement systems in the cargo industry by PayCargo. So, NAP strategic partner PayCargo, and its Director of Business Services, Mr. Leonardo Flessler, if I'm saying that correctly, will be presenting PayCargo, innovative electronic settlement and payment solution for the cargo industry. And we won't keep you for long. It has been an hour and 10 minutes. And we thank you very much for watching, and see you again next Wednesday.
Thank you, Helena.
Thank you, Christos. Thank you,
very
Safar.
much. Thank you, guys.
Everyone.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.